and just open up the floor. So today we are continuing our series of the Firefly Partner Spotlights. We had a tool guide that we put out recently at the beginning of the year, or when was it? In April, actually. It was around April. And where we feature all of the latest and greatest tools that our team has been keeping our eye on that are purpose-built for nonprofits to do their online marketing and fundraising campaigns. And so today we've got OneCause, which is doing a lot in the peer-to-peer realm. So let's get it going. I am your host, Taylor Shanklin, VP of Growth here at Firefly Partners. And like I said, Rich and I have crossed paths for a long time since I started my nonprofit tech career in 2007. So hello, Rich. You want to give us a quick shout out to yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, Taylor and I go kind of way back to our Austin days, back when we were both still in Austin, which is seems like eons ago. I'm now in Minnesota, and you're out in North Carolina, I think. Is that?
Yeah, I don't even know. Sometimes I move so much. I'm in Asheville now.
Asheville, down there, way down there, and I'm way up there. So it's total opposites. Kind of a unique background how I ended up here. I started out working in nonprofits, just like most folks out there. Have a master's in social work, so ended up on the tech side like many nonprofit technology people do. No one else wanted to do it, or it got added to my job description without my knowledge. And it turned out I loved it. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So got my first real tech job back at Convio back in the old days, early 2000s, 2003, 2004-ish. Really just fell in love with nonprofit technology and kind of been doing that ever since. So luckily I found that my social work degree still comes in handy. I think dealing with technology and nonprofits is a lot like therapy. You go through the 7 stages of grief and loss. You know, there's anger, there's disappointment, there's denial. You go through all the stages. So it's turned out to be actually helpful for me having that social work degree. So yeah, so I'm here to talk about OneCause and our tool and some of the best practices that we've built into the tool.
Awesome. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know that about you. So we'll have to do like a Razzle Dazzle podcast episode talking about the 7 stages and how it applies to nonprofits. That's a great topic.
That'd be awesome.
All right. So Rich, to open us up, some of the things that, and I know some of you have been on here before, but I'll just do a quick kind of opener to why we're here, why we think technology matters so much to actually creating real human connection points with the people who support you. And at Firefly, we're a digital agency, so we help organizations get the most ROI and really harness the power of their technology to kind of do what this lady's doing behind the switchboard. I don't know, I was looking for like a compelling photo and found this one and was really thinking about the fact that behind the technology, there are people powering the technology and there are people on the other side of the line trying to get connected. And our job as a digital agency and as, software providers like Rich and his team over at OneCause, our job is to help you connect those dots, to help connect you with the humans who are powering your cause, who are giving to your cause and supporting your work. Because many people think about digital fundraising and engagement like this. It's a transaction. Yeah. I don't think it's a transaction. We don't think your supporters are transactions. They're people who show up to do the work with you. And so that's our philosophy here at Firefly. We really think about human to human digital, and it's why we like to spotlight tools that help to create more human to human connections. And the way that we do that is we connect the dots between your systems like OneCause or like Salesforce or whatever you're using to power your organization. We help you connect those dots so that you can better connect with the humans who support you. All right, so Rich, let's get going. Let's show your stuff. I am going to pass presentation mode over to you.
There we go. I should be sharing my screen. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Excellent.
Cool. And I'm going to go on mute and let you do your thing.
Perfect. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat too, but we'll definitely have time at the end. I'll actually, let me just pull it up real quick. I'll have it open here. So if any questions come up in the meantime, feel free to interrupt me. I'll see if I can keep an eye on it. It's over on my second monitor if you see me looking over there. I kind of love the intro that you set up there, Taylor, because we believe that 110%. I don't see technology as a replacement for human connection. It's an enhancement of that human connection. And if you're using technology to like replace that human connection, you're actually making a huge mistake. And so the tool we're going to talk about today, we try to actually increase those human connections using technology. You can reach more people, you can engage more people, you can allow more people to participate, kind of, spread that workload among many. That's part of what I love about peer-to-peer. And so let's go ahead and jump in here. Let me get up my controller and we will jump into the presentation. So first of all, OneCause, if you don't know who we are, just a quick little, let me move this little video guy off the screen there. So there we go, won't be blocking it. So if you don't know who OneCause is, we were back in the day, many people may recognize the name BidPal. So started out as BidPal way back in the day, kind of one of the pioneers in the mobile bidding, mobile auction, live auction sort of stuff. They were great at that. They've been doing that for a long time. Still do that. Definitely made huge enhancements in that sort of purpose along the way. But over the last couple of years, definitely we rebranded as OneCause. And part of the reason we rebranded from BidPal to OneCause is more now of an online fundraising solution. So it's more than just mobile bidding, auctions, and live events. We're now into online fundraising, peer-to-peer, donor engagement, as I like to call it. So 6,000 organizations we work with, 20,000 fundraisers, and 2 million donors, all of that fun, exciting stuff. And now we have what we call our OneCause fundraising platform. And that does cover everything from text to give to mobile bidding, auctions, live events, all the way up to peer-to-peer fundraising, online fundraising. And today, I'm really going to be focusing on the peer-to-peer fundraising product. And that's really a misnomer. That's really not a good name for it. As you'll see on this next slide here, I don't like to think of it as a peer-to-peer tool. I actually think of it as a donor engagement tool. And that goes really into what Taylor was talking about earlier, is our tool is built in order to help you engage with your donors, not just asking them for money. It's not just about a transaction, but allowing them to engage and interact with you, spread the word about your campaign, compete in challenges. And we're going to show you some examples of all of that. But this slide here is basically all of the things that our donor engagement platform can do, our peer-to-peer tool, quote unquote. Of course, we can do run, walk, rides. That's what most people think of when they think peer-to-peer fundraising, right? I sign up, I get a fundraising page, I email it out to my friends and family, text it out to my friends and family, tell them to come donate. I sometimes jokingly call it blackmail fundraising because, if you get one of those emails from your friend or family member, you kind of have to go donate to them. Otherwise, you got to see them at Thanksgiving dinner and explain why you didn't donate on their page. So that can be very effective, but that's just one way to engage with your supporters through that sort of traditional peer-to-peer. We can also do things like awareness campaigns, and I'm going to show you what an awareness campaign looks like. But that's a campaign that is built on spreading the word, spreading your message without necessarily asking for money, kind of having things go viral on social media without asking for money. It's going to bring more names into your list, and I'm going to show you a great example of that here in a moment. Of course, we can do memorial tributes. We can do DIY fundraising. That is your, donate your birthday, donate your anniversary, have a cupcake sale, do a car wash in your backyard. Any way that people want to fundraise, our tool can make it very easy for people to sign up, get their page, collect those transactions from their friends and family. We can do ambassador fundraising. I'm going to show you a great example of what we term ambassador fundraising, which is just another type of peer-to-peer campaign you can run. But the thing I love about it is an ambassador campaign focuses on 5 to 10 top fundraisers instead of trying to get 100, 200 peer-to-peer fundraisers into your run, walk, ride type thing. An ambassador campaign focuses on 5 to 10 folks that are going to go out there and just work their network and kill it. And we have an example that I'm going to show you where they got 7 women competing to be crowned the belle of the ball. It was a gala down in, I believe it was down in Atlanta, maybe somewhere down in the South. They were doing a big gala and 7 women competed. Whoever raised the most money got named to be the belle of the ball. That's an example of ambassador fundraising, which I'll show you. We can do really good matching gift campaigns. I'm going to show you an example of that on our demo site here, where you can set up automatic matching campaigns. So you can say for the next 3 days, Torchy's Tacos is going to be matching all donations dollar for dollar up to $20,000. And our system will automatically track that matching campaign. It'll automatically close it after $20,000 or after the 3 days. It'll automatically add those matching campaigns onto the fundraiser's progress, to their thermometer, to your overall thermometer. It happens all in the scenes in the background. Another one of those features that we built specifically because we saw the pain that fundraisers were having. Most fundraisers are now doing this in an Excel spreadsheet and trying to track that and then manually you know, updating their thermometer and all that stuff. We've just built that into the tool so that it handles it automatically. Of course, you can do any form of giving campaigns or donation forms. So we can do, you know, Giving Tuesday, end of year giving, capital campaigns, crowdfunding, all of that stuff. We can even do giving days. And I'm a huge proponent of this. I'm not a huge fan of Giving Tuesday, personally, something like Giving Tuesday, because every nonprofit in the world is competing on the same day. There's just a ton of noise out there. It's really hard to get your cause seen above all the other causes. And honestly, on things like Giving Tuesdays, the campaigns that do really well are usually involving animals because they're sharing lots of cute pictures, or it's, you know, a cause that was very much connected to the organization. A lot of campaigns have a hard time getting above the noise on Giving Tuesday. So what I suggest is create a giving day that is a special day for your organization. It could be the founding of your organization. It could be a day that is meaningful to your organization. Do your own giving day that is just for you, just for your supporters, to get them to come back and do that. And we can show you examples of how you would do that as well. And of course, traditional old donation forms, as you would expect, can be embedded on your website or on the campaign site. So that's just an overview of kind of everything that you can do with the tool. And from there, we'll go in and look at some examples. But before we do that, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how OneCause was born. So with the OneCause peer-to-peer, oh, sorry, let me go back one. The OneCause peer-to-peer platform, quote unquote peer-to-peer, what I like to call donor engagement platform, was kind of born out of the need for a new platform. So it was built originally by some former Convions, folks that I knew back at Convio, and they were building the tool based on a lot of the frustrations that they saw with the other peer-to-peer tools out there. You know, things like a difficult participant experience, hard to sign up, hard to manage your page, all of that stuff. And it wasn't keeping up with times as far as mobile and social. And so the guiding principles for our tool that we're going to talk about today, participant experience is priority number one. I say we obsess over the participant experience. We want that participant experience to be simple, easy, get them their page, and then give them the tools that they need to fundraise. And I'm going to show you some great examples of what that is. But that is our number one priority, making it a great experience for that participant. Part of the way we do that is, in order for people to fundraise, we're asking a lot of them. We're asking a really heavy lift. And so we want that experience to be social, mobile, and fun. We want to meet them where they're at. Social media, that's where everyone is at, social media. So we integrate very tightly with things like Instagram, and I'll show you some of how we integrate with Instagram here in a little bit. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, we have integrations doing all that. They're on social. We want to be able to pull in some of that content. Obviously mobile, so we want the donor experience to be mobile, right? People can come and donate on their mobile phone, but we also want the participant experience to be mobile. So I can say with 100% confidence that everything a fundraiser can do on their desktop computer to raise money for your organization with our tool, they can also do on their mobile phone. That means log into the participant center, update their page, check on their donors, thank their donors, send out messages, send out texts. They can actually manage their entire campaign from their mobile phone, which is amazing. We have fundraisers who tell us that they never logged in on a desktop computer. They raised thousands of dollars just using their phone and the back end of our software there. So that's very powerful. And then finally, we want to reward and recognize for participants for more than just fundraising. So most peer-to-peer tools out there do a really good job of showing who are the fundraising leaders, who's raised the most money, what team has raised the most money. But we think that's really limiting. And we've seen the peer-to-peer campaigns across the country kind of grow stagnant over the last 5 years or so. And we think it's because it's all about money, and you can only ask your friends and family for money so many times before they start to go, really, you're doing another fundraiser? Like I've already given you 3 times this year, right? And so we want to reward and recognize for other behaviors that we know lead to better fundraising. So we reward and recognize for social media shares. The more they share on social media, the higher they can climb on the leaderboards. We also reward and recognize for recruitment, because we know if you can get more people to sign up as fundraisers, you're going to raise more money eventually. So if someone can bring 10 friends to come join as fundraisers in your peer-to-peer event, we want to give them a reward for that, because you're going to raise more money with 10 new bodies out there fundraising. Even if all of them don't fundraise, some of them will, and you'll raise more money. So I'll show you examples of what that looks like as well when we get into the demo here, which we're going to jump over and do. So again, any questions, pop up, go ahead and type them into the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my browser here now. Give me 1 second. And we'll start showing some examples. 1 sec, boom. And the first example I am going to show, let's start here with a more traditional example, and that's the Hill Country Ride for Aid. So this is a longtime client of OneCause, peer-to-peer. And they have a big bike ride they do every year. It's a huge event. If you've never seen this event, it's probably one of the most fun cycling events that people dress up in costumes. It's a huge event. People fundraise. It's just crazy event. So of course they had to cancel their ride because of the COVID-19 pandemic and all that stuff. And so they actually went virtual with their rides. So we've had a lot of our clients go virtual with their rides. So I just wanted to show an example of a One Rack ride and how it went virtual. And part of the way they went virtual is instead of people coming to the day of that ride and doing the ride and all that stuff, they created challenges leading up to what would have been the ride. So they created 12 weekly challenges. And in our software, you can create challenges for people to go do things. And I'll show you a great example of a challenge site here in a moment. But challenges can be things like fundraising. So they did matching campaigns. So like this week, we want everyone to go out and raise $100. And we have a matching campaign coming from XYZ Corporation. So we can do that. But then they had challenges like they did a really great challenge on Star Wars Day, May the 4th. They did a challenge of everyone go out and ride your bike in your favorite Star Wars costume or ride it in a pattern on your Strava app to make it look like a Star Wars figure or something like that. So they had a Star Wars theme to it. They had everybody upload their stuff onto social media, and then they created kind of a little viral scene from there. And that worked really well on our platform in that we have some pretty cool social integrations. And one of them is our gallery. So you notice at the very top here, a hashtag HCRA 2020. If anyone shared on social media, specifically Instagram and Twitter, and shared a photo or a video, it would automatically pull into our gallery. And where is their gallery? They probably got it around here. Hold on one second. There's the gallery. So if they share using that hashtag on Twitter or Instagram, it'll automatically pull in these photos and build out this gallery. And as you can see, they've got a ton of people sharing their rides. It was part of, they probably had a challenge here with flowers. I'm guessing they had a challenge to go out and ride in the hill country and show wildflowers, because I'm seeing a lot of those photos here. But as you can imagine, they got 16 pages of these Instagram and Twitter photos being rolled up here. And if you scroll through them, you'll be able to see some of the ones that are Star Wars related. But that's what they did. So then people are sharing it on social media, sharing it with the hashtag, linking them back to the campaign, getting more eyeballs on the campaign. But more importantly for me, this is getting your supporters to go do things, take actions. That's going to develop that relationship that Taylor was talking about in the introduction. It's more than just finances. It's more than just a transaction. It's getting them to do things, deepening that connection. That's going to lead to more fundraising down the road as well as recruiting more people. So if their friends and family are going to go look at these photos and then go, oh, what's HCRA? Let me go find that. They're going to click over, they're going to learn more about it, and they're going to see what that is. So I think a great example of what that looks like. Here's all the videos. Oh, you can see some of the Star Wars videos are here. So someone Instagrammed a Star Wars video. There's a llama. I mean, you never know what you're going to see on social media. So we got a llama in here. I would be very interested to see what that's all about there. So that's definitely one of the ways that we can do that. So virtual run, rock, ride, I think, is a great example there. Another example I will show, a little more non-traditional, and that is the awareness campaign that I talked about earlier. And this is a great one, again, using social media. I'm going to pull that up here. Using social media and not necessarily focusing on fundraising again. So this one is not focused on fundraising. This one is focused on awareness. And so Gigi's Playhouse, it's an organization that works with families that have children with Down syndrome. They created something called the Gigi's Promise, Generation G Promise. And what they did is they asked people to write a G with a heart on their hand, share it on social media, and that all drove people back here. And of course, they have their gallery, and I can tell you the gallery here is amazing. Cute kids, everyone's drawing a G on their hand, and they're taking the Gigi's Promise. The Gigi's Promise is to be more open and more inclusive, and then to learn more about Down syndrome and what the cause is all about, right? So they drove this on social media, drove more eyeballs back, more people came and took the challenge. Think of it almost as the ice bucket challenge, right? But a way to productize that within here and make it much easier for you to track and see who they are. And most importantly, you'll notice up here in the challenge card, they had 10,000 people sign up to take this challenge. So right now, who would not want 10,000 people to sign up and take this challenge? There's a ton of net new names in there. Of course, some of their current supporters are in here doing it, but how many of those are net new names? A couple thousand easily are net new names to the organization. So the next time they go to run a fundraising campaign, they now have more names in their database, more people to reach out to, people that have actually shown an affinity, that have shown their friends and family that they're taking that Generation G promise. They're going to be much more likely to become fundraisers. So just a great example of how you can use the tool in a way. And they still raised $2,400 here, $2,456 without even asking for money. They actually raised money. So I call it a self-funding awareness campaign, where you actually can raise a little bit of money to cover your staff time it took to launch this campaign. So a great example there. Show a couple other examples here that I definitely want to highlight: the diversity of types of campaigns that you can do with our tool. This is Feeding Westchester. It's a food bank in New York. Obviously, New York hit very hard by COVID-19, and food banks was one of the things that people definitely needed as the unemployment rate rose. More people were attending food banks. So they ran a campaign. It's a DIY campaign. This is a fundraise your way campaign. And so you can come here and you can agree to fundraise for the organization. They've raised $169,000 so far in order to help feed people that are needing a food bank, many for the very first time. And you can choose your different ways to fundraise up here. You can pledge a special day. That could be donate your birthday, your anniversary, your graduation, whatever it is you want to do. You can set up a page, pledge your special day. You can host your own event. We'll come back and talk about that. Well, actually, I'll just talk about that now. We have the ability in our system for people to host what we call wraparound events. And these are amazing. These are events that people can host on their own, but they can collect all of their fundraising still through the platform. And so this is fabulous for your donors who are or your supporters who are maybe a little more introverted, maybe a little uncomfortable asking people for money. Instead, they can just hold a small event, charge an admission for that event. All of that runs through the system, goes directly into your bank account, but they use that for their fundraising. So this could be a social distance backyard barbecue, and I'll show you an example of that when we get over to the demo site. I actually created one, so you can do. There's a $20 donation in order to attend the barbecue. I'm only allowing 10 people to come over to the socially distanced barbecue. You're going to get a plate of food and a drink. I'm going to talk a little bit about the organization I'm raising funds for. You can donate more if you want, but you don't have to, because I've already got your $20 donation when you registered for the event. And these are the supporters are creating these events, and these pages are automatically being set up in the system. So as the organization, as the admin, you don't have to do it. That is really, really the key here. We've had people doing Zoom happy hours and having people sign up to do those. So you can get really creative with the virtual aspect of it. But once once live events come back, they can do it even more. So that's hosting your own event. Like I said, that could be a car wash, that could be a cupcake sale, like anything you want to do. It's at the power is in the fundraiser's hands, which I think is really awesome. Then you can also create your own challenge. And this is, again, a unique thing with our platform. Just like the Generation G was a challenge where people wrote a G on their hand, you can actually make it so supporters can create their own challenges. And I'll show you, the next slide I'll show you here will be an example of what one of those challenge sites looks like. But this is, they can create any sort of challenge that they want. I saw one woman that created a challenge on the Crohn's and colitis site where she hates pickles. But she said if she could get $200 worth of donations from her friends and family, she would eat a pickle on camera, right? So she would record a video of herself eating a pickle if she could raise $200. So her friends and family were donating because they wanted to see her eat a pickle, right? Something that's really silly, really stupid, but in this sort of virtual COVID-19 time, what a great way to engage your supporters, let them create their own challenges. So that's how we envision a DIY campaign, is giving people all of these ways that they can fundraise. They sign up here very simply. And they would go in, register, they would get their page, they could go then take whatever sort of way that they wanted to DIY fundraise. All right. So next example I'll show really quick here. This is the challenge campaign. This is Crohn's and colitis community for cures. Oh yeah.
Would you mind if I ask you a question that kind of came in as you're walking through some of these things?
Yeah, definitely.
The question is, can you monitor what people are posting using the campaign hashtag and remove it from the gallery?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can remove it. So the thing I always say about that is we allow people to post using the hashtag because they're going to post it on social media anyways. But as the admin, you can very easily see what's being posted and you can have something be removed. I will say, and you'll probably agree with me on this, Taylor, I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, and there's only a handful of cases where I've ever seen someone post something that was truly inappropriate. And as long as it can be removed, then we're usually okay there. So I usually don't want to have a gating feature in there to stop people. But yeah, you can definitely see it. And then as the admin, you can go remove that post if you want.
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's rare. It can happen. It's something to be aware of and to monitor, but most of the time you don't run into those things.
Yeah, it's, I know it's a concern most people have with their social media, but you kind of have to get over that because people are going to share it on Instagram anyways. There's nothing you can do about them sharing it on Instagram, so it's going to be out there. I would rather know about it and then be able to respond to it than to not know about it and have it just be out there. So
yeah, awesome. Thanks.
No problem. Excellent question. Thank you. I appreciate that. So this is an example of a challenge campaign. This is a campaign where people come to and they can create whatever challenges they want. And if you want to go see, they have just tons of different challenges. On this one, Crohn's and colitis creates their own challenges. Oh, and looks like Let me refresh this so we can see all of the past challenges. So they run challenges. The organization created some of their own challenges, and also participants created their own challenge. So they had a challenge of do 30 push-ups with a random object on your back. So people would go take this challenge, they would post it on social media, either a video or a photo that they did the challenge, use the hashtag, and it would share it out, add it to the gallery, their friends and family would see it, and all of that stuff. And you can see they got all kinds of challenges in here. Meditate, do spring cleaning. So they really kind of embraced the COVID-19 time and kind of gave people a reason to go out there and do that. So that's kind of the challenge aspect of it. So you can add that into any campaign, or create a campaign like Crohn's and Colitis did just around the challenges. The final example I will show before we start talking about other features and stuff, this is the one I mentioned about the ambassador fundraising. So this is the black and white ball from Alamance. And what it was 7 women competing to be named the belle of the ball. This was before COVID-19 canceled all live events. And as you can see, this is a very successful campaign for them. 7 women competing to be named belle of the ball. They raised $179,000, and this was before their event even happened. So they do a gala every year that they do a silent auction and a live auction and a paddle raise, and they do all that stuff. But before they even show up at the event, they raised $179,000 using peer-to-peer fundraising. So that's really the power of these ambassador campaigns, is you can also link them to a live event, get people excited about that live event and going in. And my favorite part about it here is you can see the competition unfolding as they go through. So here's the 7 women, shows how much they've raised. You can either join their team and become a fundraiser and help them, or you can actually just go and simply donate. And one of my favorite things I like to show on here is Glenda. I kind of have an online crush on Glenda because we get a lot of organizations coming to us saying, oh, our donors are older and they're not really going to get into this peer-to-peer fundraising. They're not going to understand how to do it. Well, we've made our platform as user-friendly as possible, as easy to set up as possible. And I think Glenda proves it better than anything I've ever seen. Glenda raised $48,000. She is definitely not of the millennial generation, but she kicked rear on the 2 millennials over here. So almost raised double, actually raised more than both of these 2 millennials combined. So if you think that only millennials are doing peer-to-peer fundraising, I think Glenda is going to prove you wrong on that. She actually came in 2nd place. She barely got beat out down here by Kristen, who raised $56,000. But I just love the example of Glenda. And if we click through and look at Glenda's page, this is where she was sending her friends and family to come and donate. So they'd come in, they would donate, or they could join her team. Like I said, they can see her donors coming in. And the thing I find fascinating is you look at her, top donors over here, and yeah, we see some big donations, $3,000, $2,000 donations. But if you look at the list of donors, it's mostly small donors. It's $100, $50, $200 donors. Like, she was out there getting it done. She was sharing the page. She was doing some of those wraparound events that I talked about. She did a fundraiser at Chipotle. She did a fundraiser at a couple other restaurants where she was, getting half the proceeds, adding them into the back end. She was doing events at her house. So she was just fundraising in a lot of different and unique ways in order to get to that $48,000. So very successful campaign. And again, I love me some Glenda. She's a great example. So that's kind of the examples. Let me know if you have any questions on any of the examples there. But beyond that, I was going to jump in and just highlight a few of the features. I'm not going to do a full demo of everything that this product can do, but I'm going to highlight some of the features that we've built in to really help you focus on your fundraising. And for that, I'm going to use our demo site here, which is a fictional 5K organization or 5K event down in Austin, Texas. It's, of course, gone virtual during COVID-19 time, but all of the features are pretty much going to be the same. So the first thing we have here is our challenge card at the very top. Again, we have social proof kind of built in throughout the website. Nobody wants to be the only person participating in an event. And so we've built it to where they can see everything else that's going on. So we have 77 people are participating, 15 people, teams have registered. We've raised $55,000 so far out of 357 donations. So again, social proof that there's something happening and going on. We have custom progress meter. So you can upload any image you want here for your progress meter. So you don't have to have a thermometer. If you want, it could be the logo of the organization. It could be a logo of the campaign, whatever it is. It starts out in grayscale and fills up with color as you start matching your goals. So just another great branding opportunity there. Next thing I wanted to highlight here was our leaderboard. So I mentioned in the guiding principles how we like to focus on more than just fundraising when we're encouraging our supporters to take actions. And one of the main ways we do that is with our leaderboards. So our leaderboards here, we have leaderboards for fundraising, we have leaderboards for social media, recruiting, and activities. Activities are those challenges that I talked about before. So you could have some people that have tons of activity points and maybe not a lot of fundraising. That's still a very valuable supporter to me, because if they're doing that many activities, if they're doing that many things for me, they do have a deep connection. Maybe they don't have the funds right now to become a top donor, but that is a committed supporter who's sharing on social media, talking about you. I definitely want to have a relationship. And it goes right back to what Taylor was saying, not treating your supporters as a transaction, but if you know their engagement like that, if we're able to score them on that engagement to gamify what they're doing, we know that that's a top supporter of yours. We can help you reach out to them. So here's our overall leaderboard that counts all 4 of them. So we can see that. Down here, we have our fundraising leaderboard that is being sponsored by Torchy's Tacos, the best tacos on the face of the earth. The one thing I miss about Austin, Texas. We also have our social media leaders. So then this is people who are sharing it on social media, and you get to control how many points. So if you want more people sharing on Instagram, you can make it more valuable to share on Instagram than to share on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, Pinterest, whatever you want to do. We have recruiting leaders. This is your fundraisers bringing in new fundraisers. So this is on my page. I can send out a link inviting my friends and family to come join the event, become fundraisers themselves. Or when someone registers, we also just ask a question: who recruited you? Did someone tell you about this event? So we have 2 ways of getting that recruiting information, just in case they don't get that link. You can give points for how they recruit as well, because we know that that's going to affect your bottom line. So that's really a huge part of what we're trying to do as well. If you get more social media eyeballs, you get more people to join your event, you're going to raise more money. That's just guaranteed. It's just the way math works, right? We love it. So that's one of the big things that we do. We kind of recruit, we kind of reward that activity. And then of course you can have activity leaderboards. I don't have an activity leaderboard on here yet. I'm going to be adding it in, but those activities would be the challenges. We've also recently added in fitness tracking. So it's going live the end of this month. We have a number of organizations pilot testing it right now, but people are going to be able to track their fitness. Since a lot of these run, walk, rides have gone virtual, we wanted to have a way to be able to do the walk, run, ride virtual. So people can track their walks, runs, or rides manually. I can say I rode 20 miles on my bike today, and that's going to track it manually. I can have a goal for how much I want to ride, all of that stuff. But we also have an integration with Strava. So Strava is an application that people download, and it automatically tracks their running, walking, riding, and then the integration with Strava will automatically upload that into their system. So we have some clients right now, they're doing some really unique things with this. One, folks are saying, instead of doing a 5K on the day we would have had the event, go ahead and run a 5K on your own, and you can upload your best time, whatever you want to do. But we also have people doing it more of a community focus. We have a client right now that's talking about doing a campaign that is, let's all walk to the moon and back. As a community, let's add enough steps, enough miles into the back end of the system to where we walk to the equivalent of the moon and back. So as a community, they have a progress meter that's a picture of the moon. Remember I showed you the custom progress meters. They can do a picture of the moon, and then they can fill in that as they do the miles to fill that in. You can do a walk across the United States, walk across Texas, whatever you wanted to do, you can create sort of that sort of community compilation as well. And then tons of other activities you can do on the back end. If we have time, we'll talk about that at the end. So that's really, really key, that sort of leaderboard. The next one we have is those wraparound events that I talked about. So those are the events that your fundraisers can create and invite their friends and family to, and use that as their fundraising. And I've created a few on here on the events calendar. One I created before we had the lockdown, and that was a happy hour at Austin Beer Works. And if you click into that, people can come and they can register for my happy hour. They can just donate, or they can register for it. If they register for it, it's a $20 donation. I would buy them their first beer, and then I could try to solicit other donations there. But this fundraiser has already raised $90. We got a couple people that said they were attending. We got a guest list here of who's attending, who's not. And again, this is all being set up and run by the fundraiser, by the participant. You as the organization don't have to do any of this work here. So that's one type of event. I created another one that was a social distance barbecue. Since we have some things just starting to open up, we can have small gatherings of folks. So I created that social distancing barbecue. Same thing, people can come register or donate for that. No, so far no one's coming to my social distance barbecue, so I'm gonna have to invite some more people to it, but it's a $20 donation there for people to do. So that's kind of those wraparound events. Again, really great for those more introverted fundraisers, folks that are uncomfortable asking people for money. All right. The next thing we have is our promotions. We have a number of different ways. So the thing I really like about our promotions, and I'll actually show you a little bit here of the back end. So this is the admin section. So I'll just kind of give you a sneak peek of that. But this is our promotions tab. So we have a whole tab of all the different ways that you can promote your peer-to-peer fundraising event. Now, what I found in my many years, and you've probably seen this if you've ever done peer-to-peer at all, is that you end up raising a lot of money in the very beginning of the campaign, right when it launches. And you end up raising a lot of money at the very end of the campaign, right before it's about to close or the day of the event. And that whole middle section, kind of what I call the Sahara Desert of fundraising. Not a lot happens in that middle section. So we created a number of tools here built into the system to help you encourage fundraising during those slow periods, that middle part, right? So the first thing is our leaderboards. So having the leaderboards and having a leaderboard for social media recruiting and activities encourages people to go do more, which is going to drive more eyeballs back. In the middle of the campaign, you could have a contest or a competition of who can share the most on social media. That's going to drive new people back. People that have never seen the campaign will sign up. And then it's the beginning of the campaign for them, so they'll end up raising more money, right? So that's great. So we can do that. We also can do things like matches. So I mentioned matches. We got Torchy's Tacos right now is doing a current match. It's published. They are matching $20,000 for a set period of time. Since it's a demo site, I have it open for a really long time. I would suggest doing your matches a shorter time period, 2 days, 3 days, something like that. But we have this set up in the system, and the system's going to automatically track it for me, which is really nice. We give it a name, we give it a description, we say how long we want that match to go for, we say the dollar amount we want that match. The system will then automatically start tracking it, and will know when to shut it down. At any time as the fundraiser, as the admin, I can come in here, I can see how close we are to meeting that match. I can see how many donations have been matched, when it's going to be open and closed. I can also run reports on that match. But what's really great about that is some different things that we can do with it. So of course we can do a dollar match campaign, but we can also do matches based on photo or video uploads. So if you really want to encourage that social media reach, you can have a matching campaign that is Torchy's Tacos is going to give $1 for every photo that somebody uploads on social media using the hashtag, right? What a great way to encourage people to go share your stuff on social media. That's going to help your campaign go viral. That's going to get more eyeballs on it, drive more people back to the site. So those are the types of things that we can add in here. And again, the system handles all this for you. No more Excel spreadsheets trying to track all of that craziness. So that's our matches. Love the matches. But then we just have some other ways to encourage the fundraising. We have contests, competitions, and drawings. So a contest is a short-term competition to see who can raise the most money or get the most number of donations in a short period of time. So you can say this weekend, whoever raises the most money this weekend is going to win free tickets to our next live event, or is going to win a t-shirt, or something like that. It's a competition. This is geared towards your competitive people that really want to go out there and raise more money than anyone else. Contests are great. And again, the system is going to automatically track all this for you. It's going to be set up here. You can set your time period, how many winners you want. It's going to have the status. You're going to see as the donations start coming in, you'll see in here who's leading, all that. You can post that on the leaderboard page. You can say you can show who's leading the contest so everyone can see. System's going to automatically track you. The one I really like though is drawings. So drawings is another way to have a competition, but reward those people who maybe will never win the contest. So the contests are won by the super competitive fundraiser type people who are usually at the top of the leaderboards anyways, right? We also want to reward those people that only get maybe a handful of donations. So a drawing is, we can say anyone who gets at least one donation this weekend is going to get entered in the drawing. Anyone who gets at least 50 activity points. So we can have a social media drawing contest. We can have one for based on recruitment, based on donations, like anything you want to reward. You can say, hey, anyone who gets at least 1, at least 5, whatever criteria you want to set up is going to get automatically entered into our drawing. Our system is going to track all that for you and then help you pick the winner. So the system will show everyone who is eligible to win in this report here, where they can see who's eligible, and then you can pick the winner. Boom, it picked E. Morgan as the winner, and I can even keep going until I win if I want to do that. But there we go, now I won. Now I'm the winner, so I can keep picking. That's a little trick on the inside there if you want to win all the contests, but I don't recommend doing that. Let your supporters win. So that's another way you can do it, encourage that fundraising. Again, we've tried to think of the people who will raise a lot and also the people who maybe won't raise a lot. But we've seen the people who win these drawings get super excited and end up going and raising more money after that because they've seen some success. So another way we like to encourage that fundraising throughout the system. All right, makes sense? Excellent, excellent. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to keep going and we'll get to questions at the end here. Almost done showing. A couple other things I wanted to show. that I think are really important is those activities. You know, I mentioned those activities. We can do things like the wraparound events. We can do things like uploading photos and all of that fun stuff. And here's all the different types of activities that you can add on the back end. And again, this is all focused on engagement. This is all focused on allowing your supporters to do more, develop a personal connection. They can upload photos, they can upload videos, they can live stream. So now supporters can do live streams on their fundraising page. So that means if I want to sit there and do Twitch and play video games all day and use that as my fundraising activity, I can load that live stream directly on my fundraising page. So as people are watching it, they can donate right there. People can do whatever they want on that live stream. They can keep a journal or a blog. So you can add a blog to people. So we're having a lot of folks that are doing the fitness challenges are actually adding the blog or journal onto the participant page. So every day I can talk about what I did for my run that day or what I did for my walk and how long I went and all that stuff. Tell a little bit more about my personal story. Host those personal events. They can design their own challenges like we talked about. They could donate their birthdays. And again, there's a really important distinction here is you can have a whole campaign that is DIY, donate your birthday campaign, but you can also add donate your birthday, donate your anniversary into your peer-to-peer campaign. So if this is a run, walk, ride or a virtual one rock ride, we can add pledge a day as one of the activities that they can do, and they can earn points for pledging their day. So on my one fundraising page for this event, I can pledge my birthday, I can do a memorial tribute, I could keep a blog. We're actually creating it as a place that they come back to regularly and a place that they're sending their friends and family back to on a regular basis. So people get really used to going to the system, making those donations, doing all that stuff. They can take quizzes, you can have fundraising challenges, can even have people buy out of a challenge. This is a feature that we added in for challenges. So we have Crohn's and Colitis has a campaign, I think it's Crohn's and Colitis, or it's prostate cancer maybe, that has a push-up challenge. So every time someone donates on my page, if I'm a member of the push-up challenge, every time someone donates on my page, I have to go do 20 push-ups. If I don't feel like doing those 20 push-ups, I can donate $20 and not have to do the push-up. So I can buy out of actually taking that challenge. So the pickle lady could actually buy out at the end if she wanted to. If they enabled it, she could buy out of that pickle challenge if she wanted to. So that's another actual thing that you can add in there. And then record fitness. So what we've tried to do here with this list, as you could probably see, is let you guys get really creative on what you think is going to resonate with your supporters. What activities are going to get them excited, get them to actually go out there and do stuff. You can do silly things like Crohn's and Colitis did, do 20 push-ups with a random object on your back. You can do serious things like go run a 5K, go run a marathon, do a memorial tribute page. It's really up to you to design a campaign that makes sense for you and your followers. And the final thing that I'll talk about is in our messages. We also have the ability to gamify what you're doing here, and we do that through milestones and badges. And that is basically, you can create your own milestones, goals that people hit, and they'll get rewarded with a badge. And you can create your own custom badges. This one, I've only created one badge. I need to create different badges for each thing. But you can create a milestone for hitting 50% of your goal, hitting 100% of your goal, or raising $1,000, raising $2,500. And they'll get an email that lets them know that they earned this badge. You can have custom content in there encouraging them to go and do more, to tell their friends and family that they won this badge. And they're also going to get a badge directly added onto their page, which is awesome as well. And we can go see here one of the folks that have a badge here. Let me go to our leaderboard and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll go to my fundraising page since I know that I have some of this on here. So here's my fundraising page that I would send out to my friends and family. Obviously I can tell my story, but here's some of my badges. And again, it looks nicer if I have different badges for different achievements, but I can earn as many badges as I want to on there. Badge and different colors. I'm even going to experiment with putting some of the sponsor logos in the badges. So I'm going to have a Torchy's Tacos 100% goal badge. So every time someone reaches 100% of their goal, they're going to get a badge with Torchy's Tacos logo on it. So again, another way to highlight your sponsors. We love highlighting sponsors. We know that that's a huge way organizations make money. So again, just another way that you can highlight those sponsors. We then have our challenge network here is another way we integrate with social media. So our challenge network, we call this our impact network, our impact network really shows the impact of your friends and family that they have on this organization. So as a fundraiser, I raised $730, but my network has raised almost $2,500, $2,495. And my network is anyone who is on my team in this fundraising challenge, anyone who recruited me or I recruited, or anyone I'm connected to on Facebook. So I registered for this campaign using Facebook. We have register using social media. So I registered using Facebook, and then it'll show me my Facebook friends here. This is a Facebook friend who's also registered for the campaign. I might not even know that they're also registered for the campaign, but now the system is going to tell me. And on the back end, it'll even encourage me to go start a team with some of my Facebook friends, since it knows that we're connected. So again, that's that deep social media connection that I'm talking about there, is we can see who their friends are, and we can make some encouraging statements based on that. We then have our timeline. This is a great thing about the matching feature. I talked about the matching campaign and how that all handles on the back end. Another thing we do is we really highlight that sponsor who's doing the match. So Torchy's Tacos is doing that match. So I got a donation here from Brad Tunn. He gave me $60, and then it tells me Torchy's Tacos matched that donation by $60. So Torchy's Tacos loves this because they get to see their name plastered on every fundraiser's page every time a donation is made. The fundraiser loves it because now my totals went up. I got $180 already of matching gifts. And those are mostly coming from Torchy's Tacos because that's their campaign coming on right now. So that added $180 to my fundraising total. So I've blown out my goal now because of that $180 from Torchy's Tacos. So again, another way that we integrate that matching technology, another way to highlight your sponsors. Sponsors love this feature because they get to see their name plastered all over the website. They'll also get to see it on the timeline. So we have a timeline that is everything going on in the campaign. And as you can see, Torchy's Tacos gets their name plastered all over that timeline as well. So that is kind of the crash course on the OneCause donor engagement platform, or peer-to-peer platform, as I like to call it. So Taylor, if you want to hop back on, if there's anything you think I missed, you've seen a demo of this before, so I don't know if I missed anything. If there's anything else you want to talk about or highlight, or any questions that have come in, I would be happy to answer.
No, I thought it was really comprehensive, and it's always good to see. I feel like every time I see it, I learn a little bit something new, where I'm like, oh, I forgot about that, or oh, I hadn't picked up on that before. So go ahead and type in any questions into the chat that you have for Rich. One of my questions that I like to ask everyone on these spotlights is, do you have kind of a general sense of like just timeline and implementation and what that would look like if someone, I know especially right now, I'm talking to more and more organizations who, I'll turn my video back on, who are like kind of all of a sudden having to pivot to virtual events or, you know, things like that. And so what can people expect with an implementation on OneCause?
Excellent question, and you did mention I was supposed to cover that, and I totally missed it. So thank you for reminding me. Yeah, so our traditional implementations, first time you sign up with our peer-to-peer solution, it's a 4 to 6 week implementation. And the reason it's 4 to 6 weeks is because it's not just implementing it for you, but we actually teach you how the system works while we're doing that. So we have people that can be implemented quicker, and that's really if you come to us and you have your content for your emails, content for your pages, we can actually do that a little bit quicker, closer to the 4 week. You know, we've even done some real quick turnarounds when we've had to, but we really like that longer time frame because we really do focus on teaching you how to fish. And I think the power to that is vast majority of our clients never have to do another implementation with us again. Once they've gone through one with us, they know how the system works. They're launching campaigns on their own. They don't have to keep coming back to us and buying another implementation. So it is traditionally 4 to 6 weeks. A lot of that is that training, really talking best practices with you, making sure that you're using those promotions and stuff. And then we're starting to now actually check back in with our clients about 3-4 weeks after they've launched. Because what we found is a lot of folks will say, oh, I really want to do those promotions, but let's just get live first. They get live and they never really come back and do a promotion. And really, you're going to raise so much more money when you use the promotions, when you do the matching, the contest. So now we're checking back in with folks. And we're like, hey, it's been about 4 weeks. Have you launched that promotion? If not, let's go get that in there. You know, let's get that done. So yeah, so 4 to 6 weeks, and then a check-in, and then you're off running and raising money.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So that's one of the things I like about OneCause is you guys you can get up and running on it pretty quickly and get moving along. And I also think the gamification elements are interesting. Y'all really kind of thought that out, and the social networking and the hashtag roll-ups and things like that. So if you're looking for ways to really think through your strategies of engagement with a virtual event, I think looking at tools like this that can make it easy for you to really give people a very connected experience so that they see different things happening on different social platforms and who's connected to who and all of that stuff, I think is really, really powerful. So it's one of my favorite features of what you guys have built in this tool. So
Yeah, I love that. I wanted to highlight here. So I was talking about, someone who does a lot of activities, to me, is a top supporter. So this is a Crohn's and Colitis Challenge campaign. So Shayna Wright, you can see she's topping the overall leaderboard. She hasn't really fundraised a ton. Fundraising is the smallest part of it, but she has done like all of the challenges. To me, that is a top supporter. They would never trigger as a major donor in your system, in your donor database, because they've never donated or even raised enough money. They would never trigger. But this is someone who I want to get to know, because they're out there talking about you. And so how many people has she driven back to this site? How many people has she also got to sign up and take the challenge? Like, how can we start making those connections? Like, that is an important thing. So again, it's thinking about that donor engagement. I love how you introduced this session, Taylor. It's not a transaction. It is that engagement. How can you develop deeper relations? And you and I both know that's what leads to donor loyalty. It's not necessarily the dollars that really create that loyal connection. It's that engagement, and then, that relationship that you build, that making that human connection. I would reach out to Shayna and I would have a conversation with her on the phone 100%. And what else can we do to help you? I will send you bumper stickers, t-shirts. I will send you anything you want. If you're out there talking about us, I'm going to help you talk about us,
Yeah, totally. I think that's one of the things we sometimes we try to just be all things to all people, but we have to remember, like, who's really connected and what's their why behind why they're connected, and then let's tap into that, and let's make each of them feel, like they're a unique person who's showing up for us, and they're a big part of it. And so really kind of understanding people's motivations, being able to then use the technology to see how people interact, like that leaderboard and the different levels of activity is so telling, because then it gives you, as a event coordinator or communications director, to really be able to understand how to talk to different people about different things. So very cool stuff. All right. Well, again, if you've got questions, chime in. We've got about 5 minutes left. I'm just going to share my screen again.
Excellent. I will stop sharing mine so you can do it. There you go.
I think I've got the almighty power of
almighty
Oz.
Control, as it should be, as it should be.
I don't know about that, Rich. I don't know about that. If you are, curious about additional tools, we'll keep doing these through the month of August. So thank you, Rich, for showing us OneCause today. If you haven't downloaded the guide yet, we digest a lot of these different platforms and really look at different tools in our industry that do different things, from advocacy to peer-to-peer to online giving to email marketing and kind of everything in between. So sign up for the series. Shoot me an email, taylor@fireflypartners.com, if you're curious about learning more. And if you are, I've got to do my shameless plug at the end. If you're curious about how to actually use a tool and then put the right strategy around it, right? Put the strategy around creating that human-to-human connection. That's what Firefly does. So we can help you from campaign marketing to just on-demand support. Let's say you have a tool like OneCause and you need a little extra boost of help. Our team can help you out with that, with your ongoing communications and recruitment and coaching. And also we do websites. We do incredible things with websites. So if you're curious about kind of reskinning the way that you look online, now that we know people are going online and looking at things online more than ever before, a good website's really important. And so those are some of the ways in which Firefly can help support your human-to-human digital touch points. So shoot us an email, shoot me an email if you want to reach out to me personally, taylor@fireflypartners.com. And if you want to hit up our whole team to learn more about us and, using a tool like OneCause and how we could all work together with you, send us an email at hello@fireflypartners.com and someone on my team will get back to you. Without any further ado, I'm just going to make sure there's no chat.
I just put my email in the chat there. If anyone has questions about OneCause, feel free to reach out to me. It's rdietz@onecause.com. That's diet with a Z, rdietz, D-I-E-T-Z. I'd be happy to chat with you. I can talk OneCause and I can talk online fundraising all day long. So yeah, let me know. Would love to. And I'll just put a quick plug in for Firefly as well. We're working on a great partnership right now, and Firefly is the organization we want to partner with, because we don't have a lot of partners on the online fundraising space because it doesn't take a lot to implement our tool. So if a partner wants to focus on how many hours it takes to make a tool work, we're not going to be a good solution for you, because it doesn't take that many hours. What we love about Firefly is you guys focus on the strategy. You guys focus on how to get people to do more, not click buttons and ones and zeros type stuff, you know what I mean? And so that's where we get so excited about our partnership is you add the strategy that you guys have with our tool that is easier to use and adds those engagement, and folks are gonna raise a lot of money. Super exciting.
Yeah, we're excited too. And we will make sure, Rich, when we send out the slide deck and the recording, we'll share your contact info. And so people can reach out directly to you as well.
Excellent.
All right. Well, hey, thanks everyone. It's been good having you back, and we hope to see you on the next one tomorrow. Let's see, same time, same place, different web link. So if you haven't signed up for that, be sure to, here, I'll share that. Go to that quick little bit.ly link there. And we've added a couple more things into the mix too in this series. So go check out what's new and sign up for what looks interesting to you.